I'm picking you up.
I'm bitching. In the early 2000s, we had my first footwear love affair with Puma. For us, athletes means also everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone is an athlete.
Yeah. I sit there with a big smile on my face going, it's exciting.
We are still humble. we are humble here at Puma.
Well, hello and welcome to PUMA Go Wild, the podcast. Now, it's a show where we'll be interviewing Puma's wild ones, and we'll find out about themselves, of course, in sport and in culture itself. Now, Puma itself has kind of been redefining the game and the careers. So the people that we're talking to will be highlighting the highs of their lives, correct?
I will try.
Thank you very much. And most importantly, they will unleash their wild side. Now, I'm Colin Jackson, I'm your host, and today we'll be diving into the world of innovation and performance with the man himself. I'm kind of bigging you up here. No? I'm bigging you up.
I'm bitching.
Man in charge of the future of sport footwear here in Puma. Romain Girard, president of innovation at Puma. And of course, you're at the forefront of creating these wonderful new things that I'm very jealous of. So hello and welcome.
Thank you. Really nice to be with you, Colin.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, yes. And really happy to share the work and the thinking of innovation here. It's a core aspect of product making.
Brilliant stuff. Now, as you notice, I've got like a handful of questions here. And like, you can relax. I won't really hammer you with questions, but I'm always interested to see how people get where they are. So tell us a little bit of background of you.
I'm a product designer. I studied product design in France. And then I fall into the magic potion. If I use the analogy with Asterix and Obelix, I fall in the magic potion of footwear in the early 2000s by hazard in an agency where I was working. And then I actually had my first footwear love affair with Puma early 2000. So I actually started with Puma in 2002.
Well, think about for you then. When you see and you talk about footwear stuff, that word design, you kind of use, I fell into design. I mean, how do you design footwear? I mean, where does that passion come from? Because for me, I always think of textiles, right?
Yes, I mean, to me, this creative and this envy to solve problems was always there. Actually, originally, I wanted to be an architect. And then in France, the economical situation was not right, sliding into design, solving problems, try to make better products for people. And then landed again into the footwear aspect. And people sometimes are asking also, is like, you do shoes for 25 years?
Yeah.
Really? Like, is it not boring? But that's the beauty, is it never stops. There is always a new angle. There is always a new aspect that you can discover. And this envy to always do things better, it's so motivating, Every morning you wake up and you're like, yeah, I'm going to take on the next challenge. And I see a lot of parallels actually with athletes.
Right.
So this envy to always, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
There is always a new perspective to things.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is that you've kind of already touched on your personal side and your personal journey. So you've mentioned that and how you got there to, I guess I want to use a love affair with shoes, right, in a sense. But if we talk about Puma themselves, what does innovation mean for Puma?
I think the way we look at innovation here at Puma is a bit like an engine. And we are the brand that has the biggest affinity with the world of motorsport. I was actually back then part of this first shoes with Michael Schumacher and Ferrari. And then since then, we really built a lot of understanding of that world of performance in motorsport. So we look at innovation like an engine, meaning we have many cylinders. We have a cylinder, which is maybe the core cylinder, it's all about hardcore and high-level performance. Mm-hmm. The best for the athletes, like these spikes, as an example, for Carsten. Or we have, a couple of other specific shoes. This is the best of the best for a specific, and we try to solve really a functional problem, kind of enhance performance through products.
Products tend to be, though, kind of individual. In a sense. So you've got to produce something for the masses. So how complex is that when you're talking about high-end equipment?
And that's why the core cylinder is high performance. But then what you do after is we also explore ideas out of the blue, meanings inspired by performance, but for the street, how we bring that for the street. We also have to consider on a third cylinder sustainability. We have the vision somewhere that, like in Formula One actually, performance is not decoupled from being more sustainable also. Like the cars are faster, but they use less and less petrol. Mm-hmm. Same here, we want to build amazing product, amazing performance, but we are considering the impact that we have on the planet. So this is also a third pillar. And then there is, I would say, all the satellite where we explore new routes through new manufacturing and new processes that could influence new architecture of products or new materials.
Now, we're looking on the desk in front of us here, and you've got 3 pairs of shoes that look very different.
That's the spectrum.
Right? Yeah, they look very, very different. Is there anything in them that's kind of the same? Is there some kind of bone that runs through them all?
Yes, our core technology, nitro, the nitro foam. This is the best foam we have at PUMA. But I can tell you also out of the tests we do, you're only as good as your competition or as better as your competition. So we do a lot of benchmark also. And what we see is with Nitro, we have really a key technology that is better than anything else on the market. And we are really proud of this. So that's the red thread that we have through these products.
As you were speaking then, you had such a beaming smile on this. There's a sense of real pride in that story.
We are still humble. we are humble here at PUMA, and I think that's the nature. And this is within the nature of who we are here at PUMA. But at the same time, you need also to be loud enough so that the world understand what they buy when they buy PUMA and what they get when they buy PUMA. And again, there we have the best foam on the market.
With that, then, how do we test that? How do you go through the process of testing all these wonderful pieces of equipment that's in front of me?
So it very depends on the type. So as an example, the type of products, if we look at this shoe developed with actually Karsten Warholm and Coach Life, which is very specific for 400-meter hurdles. We test very much with the athletes directly. We have also a setup in a lab where we look at mechanical properties, but the athletes is the key driver, not just cars. The athletes in general are the key drivers. Then we have, from there, other products. Again, you see the red thread with the nitro foam going through. Where we throw the ball much further in the future, here's a vision of what speed in football could be, and then enhancing also the speed through nitro. In the ultra silo, and then therefore here we test more with athletes, but it's tested much more in a lab, in a controlled environment, looking at the explosivity of the shoe versus the normal ultra or versus competition. So outside with the athletes, more in the lab, and then here you see a kind of a crazy vision.
I'm looking at this shoe now. That it's a training, racing, running shoe, right?
Something like that. A bit of all of that. But actually, you see here a version where we made it also, we push it down to the street.
Yeah.
So the streetwear approach. And here the original idea is also like pushing the boundaries regardless of the World Athletic Rules.
Yeah.
And say, okay, we know that for the equity of athletes, there is specific rules, but we think we have to shoot for the moon or for Mars to make sure we get the right learning, for the athletes. And so here we completely ignore the rules, and we were like, how we can build the highest mechanical doping for a runner.
Yeah.
So this shoe has 3 plates, multiple pods of nitro, and it really feels like running on the moon, and it's really, really pushing you to run faster.
Have you used any of these? Have you put them on your feet yourself? Have a go?
Yes. And that was interesting because the first time actually we were exposing, many people are like, oh, I'm not sure. And we were like, the best things to do, here's a treadmill, run on it. And that puts on all of them a smile on their face. And this is where you know that you touch and you catch a new experience with people. Because at the end of the day, that's what we are looking for. Building a new experience also with people. With athletes, but with people in general. And for us, athletes means also everybody.
Okay.
Everyone is an athlete.
So if we go back to 1948, in the very beginnings, and we've had shoes that have obviously been created right the way through. So do we take anything from those old styles, potentially, that we could use in the modern world?
It's a very interesting question. Yes, because as much as we look forward and we tap into science and our instinct, there is some memories that are embedded, like memories that you have been shaping, memories that products have been shaping, that we always somehow subtly connect without knowing it, even sometimes. But you see that there is a connection. And as an example, in track and field, the brush spike from the 60s, where we are revisiting now and then looking at certain aspects of that. But it could be also as simple as the color of that one. Bright red was also an iconic color back then. So there is always, that's why the archive is actually here on the bridge, where you always pass by. There is always some aspects where we tap into our roots, where we tap into our memory, where we tap into our heritage.
Interesting enough, every time I see the spikes here now, was looking at Carsten's spikes specifically, and I remember my first pair of Puma spikes, which were called Puma Munchen.
The mention,
Yeah, and that goes back a very, very long way. And then it came to the Macanudo, the Puma Macanudo, which was then in this day quite high tech. And what was the interesting bit about that for me, in a sense, the way that it gripped, the way that it worked, it was as high as you could get for the moment in time. Now, when we look at products, I mean, it's outstanding, some of the materials that are used. I mean, how do you work with those type of new materials constantly to get the best?
So compared with the spikes from the past, where the parameters were maybe less, as an example, grip, as you were mentioning, traction, fit, I think now with the tools we have, with the teams we have, also with the partners we have, we're able to look at much more parameters. And so, like rebound, this is the things that we were not looking back then, but explosivity, snappiness. And so today, having more conscious of the impact of those factors, we are able with partners to develop new technology, target new technology, evolve on a material level. One key thing also that I see that has been accelerating is learning by doing. I think today, the fact that we have much more digital opportunities. Back then, it took a year to develop a shoe. Today, we are able to do that in 3 months. Test, learn, test again, and then learn again, and then take it to the next level. And that pace is accelerating the pace of innovation also.
So that really summarizes innovation in a wonderful way. So I'm really happy, excited to keep on moving forward within the brand. But then when we talk about words, I mean, innovation is one, but greatness, what does greatness mean in this concept, in this way?
We believe that we can support the best of the best to be, to shape history in sport. But we believe, as I was saying before, also that everybody is an athlete and everybody has an athlete inside him or her. And we believe we have the capabilities to unleash greatness within yourself, within each of you, to unleash that greatness. That's what also motivates us. As an example, in the world of running is, yes, you want to make sure that people are breaking a record or are taking it to really a high level. But actually, when we see the mass having PBs, reaching their PBs, like, how satisfying is this? Because it's not just looking at this, we are looking at this. And this is what matters also today, really talking to all the people and not only to few.
Yeah, I get that. I really get that. It's funny because as you're explaining it to me there, I feel like our products are nearly aligned to cooking. You got to understand what I say. It's made with love. You know when they say when they make food with love and it just tastes better? Yeah. It seems that the team has this passion of love and creating that inner athlete greatness for all, not just for the chosen few.
It is crucial. It's like you have to believe. You have to believe into what you do. 5 years ago, we reset running, and that came actually with the new nitro foam, a key ingredient in our running shoes today. But 5 years ago, with Erin and the running team, we believe we could build the best ever running product. And today you will see a launch in the Boston Marathon soon, where we will show a product that is by far superior than anything else on the market. Yeah. And this requires belief combined with love. Exactly. You have, here it's not about work, it's about believing into something and making it happen with your team, with the people, with the athletes.
I believe you. And that's important, right? Because you've got to get the message through to athletes. So how do you get the athletes to believe?
That's why also our relationship with athletes is really a conversation, and so that's also very important, that you have to tell the truth of where you stand today, the technology, the level where you are with your products, as well as they have to tell you the truth and how they feel about it. Sometimes I have to say some of the conversation, they hurt, because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of love, it's a lot of belief, but it's not perceived this way for good reasons. Yeah. And so that requires further on and further work, but we always get there. Always get there. If we believe in it, we always get there.
That's linked to my next question, really, where you said you always get there. Is there anything that is set up that you think that you still have to achieve, that you want to achieve? What is it? The best of the best, I guess?
Yes, what we try to have is really the best of the best with the least impact on the planet. That's really this combination of the two things. Within the best of the best, there is a subtlety of it's for the best of the best, but again, we consider everyone as the best inside. So does it work also with all of us?
You touched on for the planet. Is there only going to be a time where we have a shoe that is totally recyclable then?
We did already the experiment with the PUMA suede, the re-suede, completely biodegradable. So the way we are looking at recyclability is through two lenses, using existing material. So I would call that simplified plastic to plastic, how we turn rest plastic into new plastic and build new products. So loop. We are looking also at another approach, which is material that are grown from Earth, and then it would go back to Earth without, obviously without harming or without hazardous material inside. And so we are working on those both tracks. We had a long and really insightful experiment with the re-suede, and now we have a couple of products cooking which are fully recycled and fully recyclable in the pipeline. So that's also that's planned to come.
If we talk about failure, as an athlete, for me, I understood that failure was important for me to work hard again, to try and reach excellence. In what you do, does failure have the same kind of seating?
100%. That's where there is a clear, again, one more time, the similarity with athletes into what we do in innovation, like failure, and actually we are calling that learnings, not failure. But if we talk about failure, they are part of our process. You can only know the limits if you scratch them or if you go over them. And so failure or learnings are part of our process. The challenge after is to manage it and to learn as quick as you can from them, and then to bounce off from that to the right track. But it's 100% part of the process. Build, listen, build, test, fail, or learn, build again, test again, make it better, and then it's an endless loop, really getting into this loop of perfection, which will never be perfect, can always be better, always.
Yeah, I always say to my athletes that I work alongside, strive for excellence, because I don't really think perfection exists. And when we talk about failing, I always remind them that fail, for me, stood for first attempt in learning. So that's where I put the word fail.
I'm going to write this on the door now. Thank you for the tip.
Always a real pleasure. When we're talking about going forward, we're always stepping technology, innovation, etc. There's this little thing called AI, right? That's happening in this moment. So how does AI kind of change performance in that sense, and what people, I guess, expect of performance?
AI is one more tool to our toolbox, and it's definitely a powerful one.
Huh?
We are using it more and more, but I have to say also it's always, we look at building product a bit like a DJ. If you dial up something too big, the result, it's also a lot about balance. The result is unbalanced. And so what's interesting with AI, we've been embracing it and maybe over-embracing it, and we've seen, we are missing some aspects of that. So the key way that we need to equalize today is AI, leveraging this, whether it is on design software, but also on science software. It's also the pure science, and the knowledge of our people in the team, but it's also instinct. You need to tap into your instinct. And again, I'm back. There is a lot of parallel with athletes. It's the same. You tap into your instincts, you know already where you are at. And it's not because you get a blood check. You know that from your guts. So we are really tapping into those three parameters, and AI is going to be, it is already, but it's going to be more and more a big enabler of going deeper into certain things.
Does that kind of frustrate the team in a way then? Because people will... No, I love that. Straight away, Colin. No, we're talking about...
because it's a new enabler. Like you can reach other level. Like if we would look at things with a microscope, it's all of a sudden from a zoom 10, you can go to zoom 100. You can go deeper in many things. And so this is exciting.
Is there any of the particular projects that we've had in the past that if we applied some of the new technology, it would be a mind-blowing product in your mind?
I mean, the thing is, yes and no, because really materials and processes have so much evolved within the last 30 years that even if you retrofit some aspect into an old, you are missing some of the key details of today. Like today, our capabilities to look digitally and how a product behave before even building it is really building a lot of sharpness in our engineering. And so this you cannot go back to that time. But what we see is there were a couple of really smart ideas on smart construction from the 60s, 70s, 1890s, where we still have some IP also, intellectual properties, where we're still looking at revisiting this and re-amplifying this. So leveraging this, but in a new way.
Wow. Breeder. Yes. Are you ready for some quickfire?
Yes, I'm scared, but okay. I'm gonna answer with my guts. So
you're gonna have to answer with your gut. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
What's the one innovation in sports gear you wish you had invented?
There is many.
Come on.
The one, maybe knitting.
Oh,
knitting.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I was in some of early conversation there, but I wish we were working more deeply onto this back then. Like knitting was a massive revolution in the entire footwear. Massive.
Love that. Okay. Fast way to kill a great idea in innovation.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Oh, all right. Yeah. It could be good or it could be bad.
Most of the time it's bad.
Okay. I'm keeping quiet then. What's more important, science or instinct? I think I could answer that for you.
I mean, I need to explain a little bit. It's instinct.
Yeah.
But it's because science, we are all able to tap into that. We all have access to that science. So what makes the difference at the end of the day is instinct. Again, same as an athlete.
Yeah. I would have answered that question. I think you'd have said that. Yeah. Okay. I love this one. Which decade had the best sneaker design?
2000.
Right in. No argument about that. Okay.
2000 to 2010.
Happy.
There was creativity was flowing. It was like no limit.
Yeah.
Just try.
See, I was out of the scene then as a performer, so I'm furious, but that's okay. What's the craziest idea you've ever had?
Oh, I don't know if there is any. Actually, I don't know. Maybe that's the one to come. I don't know.
Okay. What more input did you have in these?
I don't think this is like crazy. That's the thing. Like, you know, like
I was like, that's crazy.
I think, and also like in the world of crazy, I think it's more like daring for me. It's like how far you dare.
Yeah.
But there is no craziness. It's more like courage. And again, I'm back to believe after.
Yeah. It's like dare to dream a bit, right? Dream big.
Yeah.
Dream big
And make it real.
and make it real.
Yeah.
Fortunate that you have the skills to do that. So thank you very much. Yeah.
Really a heavy teamwork.
Yeah. So if you could have dinner with one legendary inventor or designer, who would that be?
Wow.
Okay, it says one, but I'm gonna. You can give a couple. You can give me two. I'll give you two. We'll make it easier.
It's difficult. Of course, there is a couple of big names, and I had the chance to Jacques Chassin from another company, but Jacques Chassin is a living legend in footwear design, and I had the chance to had some touch points with him. Amazing. It's like talking to an history book. And learning a lot, and still fresh, and still with the fire in his eyes. So I think Jacques Chassin, but I had the chance. Otherwise would be Tinker Hatfield, also from another company, like a creative that just follow his vision, and then really, as I was saying before, is also taking people with him, and really has been changing a big part of the industry. So
yeah. So you gave me the names and the reasons why. I love that. What's the single best material ever used in sportwear?
I have to say, I mean, if we look at those two ways, is on one side right now it's our nitro foam. I really believe from an ingredient point of view, and from a technology therefore point of view, this is really the best of the best. But I think it's also now the ability that we are having with our labs, with our teams, with our experts in-house, how deep we are able to look into an athlete's biomechanics, into an athlete's performance overall. This is really deep now, and therefore I think this is also again helping to make a massive difference on the outcome.
So we need to have another conversation about that, right?
Please, yes.
If you could only wear one pair of sneakers for the rest of your life, what one would it be?
Oh, wow. I think right now it would be the Deviate Elite 3. Like, you can run at the highest pace with it, but you can walk every day with a nice pair of jeans and looking fantastic. So I think my best sneaker right now.
Yeah, that works. What's the first word that comes to your mind when you think of innovation?
I would say love.
Exactly. No. From our conversation, I would say that, because as you're speaking to me about all the stuff that we've got and that's it going, I see there's a love there. It's a genuine love. So I love it. Right. What's the one thing you believe every innovator should embrace?
Be open. Be as open as you can. So never put a frame. Like, there is no right or wrong. There is only the way to try to do things better. And so how do you embrace this the most?
Yeah.
So no judgment, definitely no ego. Just go with the flow, understand, connect the dots, do it, live it, breathe it,
Be it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. If you had to choose a sport that's completely outside your comfort zone, what would it be?
Ballet dancing?
You don't see yourself as an elegant man. No, okay. Ballet dancing. Okay, fair enough. We can live with that. Like, for whom would you like to design a shoe? You've got the world.
Yeah.
There's billions of people.
Now I wish, it's too late now. I wish we would have done a shoe for Usain Bolt. To be honest, we talk with all of our, 350 track and field athletes. We talk with all our road runner athletes and football athletes. And we got a lot of feedbacks. We are doing a lot of things with and for them. But you realize, with him, and with what he stands and what he's done, we would just have loved to be part of that journey. Could have we shaved, a cent of a second less with some extra support? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting, to see how far we could have gone.
Taken it, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not sitting here disappointed thinking you could have said me, but
It's all good. I was thinking about it as we were talking. I'm like, you too, Colin, also.
It's a real pleasure catching up. Loved all the answers. And do you know what? Yeah, I think we're in a really good place. So, Romain, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Real pleasure.
Thank you, Colin.